Well, when I gave some real serious and deep thought about what angle or what my purpose is, and my whole direction we're going with the what I believe is my life purpose,
right,
and how I'm going to give that and express that to the world, right?
Right.
And in my thinking and trying to figure out, okay, so like, what angle am I coming from? What am I really trying to do, right? And the thing for me is that I'm trying to equip the world, I'd say, with the psychological and emotional tools to like instinctively,
Right.
It become an instinctive thing to where we get outside of self a lot of times and not be so selfish in our perspective.
Right.
And because I think that we don't realize how much of that negative selfish, and I emphasize that because we're going to view things from a personal perspective, but I'm saying that negative selfish perspective causes so many different problems socially,
right,
as well as for us as an individual.
Absolutely. I like that. The reason people are asking, why put them together? Okay. Yolanda's a hairstylist and my friend Mr. Gerald is a barber. So in doing so, you hear everybody's issues. They come to you and they're sitting in your chair and they're telling you what happened and what's going on, and those things are part of you then. I hear Mr. Schiff saying that. What do they come to you with negative things, or what do you inspire while you're talking to them and doing their hair, guys' hair, and women? You do women too.
Well, I mean, I see a lot, I observe a lot, so I watch a lot, and I start off typically just asking questions to get a better understanding of what I think I'm looking at, right, or hearing, and mostly I think what I see as a real predominant thing in the shop is you have a lot of males, and I would say specifically black males because that's what specifically come to my shop, right?
Right.
Specifically black males that I believe we lack a lot of self-discipline, and I believe that is the greatest hindrance for most black males specifically, because no matter what no matter how much money you even have, if you don't have the discipline to utilize that power or that position, it only can value only so much to you. You know what I'm saying? It only can value you only so much. So I just talk to young guys a lot. I'm always just listening and giving what I can, but sometimes we don't like to you just always tell people, black men specifically don't like to just always be told different things because they don't seek help as much as we should,
They don't.
Yeah, we don't, I think a lot of us don't believe we are as broken as we are,
Guys, African American
specifically,
men.
Yeah,
okay.
Specifically.
Okay. Okay. You said in 2016, the less you respond to negative people, the more peaceful your life will be. You still feel that? That's a good one.
Because my thoughts be just
that's a good one.
Right then,
that's perfect. That's perfect.
And my view on that is that can no one make you do nothing?
Right.
Right. And when people say I don't have a choice,
yes,
or you made me do this or that,
right, they're
not being realistic with themselves, and they lose so much power. Right. With those words alone. And a lot of people don't understand. They'll be like, man, but okay, I didn't just mean it like that. You ain't got, but I try to get people to understand when you say certain things. Right. It's so much power in the words that you said. Right. And you have to say it correctly because you're feeding that right back to your psyche. And it's like a reprogramming of something that's there that caused you to say it at first. Wow. And so to claim your power, I think that is very significant,
Okay. As you go out and you date, and you see other women, I heard Yolanda say about the brokenness. Do you see that as you come, in the dating?
I heard Kurt Franklin do an interview at the Breakfast Club one time, yes. And I shared this interview a number of times on all the things that I have, right? Because I thought it was just so profound, and it was a powerful message in his testimony.
Right.
And the thing was, if we are familiar, that he had a sexual problem. Do you recall?
Okay.
Yeah, he had a sexual problem. So he associated his beginning, his introduction into sex, right? He associated everything that he was doing from the problem he had sexually, as well as how he entered relationships.
Right. Okay.
To that beginning.
Okay. And you're talking about Kirk Franklin.
Right.
Okay.
And so I mentioned that because that's what I see also with myself and with just the people that I run into and gravitate to, that we all seem to kind of connect like that, you know. And I'm, of course, I'm not meaning like everybody, but that is definitely one thing that
we bring the past.
Yeah, and I just believe that when she was speaking about going into relationship after relationship, right, looking for that, and I do believe that a lot of times when we date and meet people, right, they kind of it has some relation or something in common with
the past,
loves or whatever, right?
They either look like them, or you can hear their voice, or something like that. Okay?
Right. And I believe that when Yolanda was speaking about you needing time to really find yourself, heal yourself, right? That is definitely one of the things that I believe that we aren't doing when we get out and we date, and because I think we've created this instinctive response to heal that void or that hurt or that, you know, by jumping into another relationship.
Exactly. I think the other thing too that we have, men as well as women, but really with men, as guys, you can answer this one or you can chime in on it. A lot of women feel it's a lot of women out here for us because they're single.
A lot of men?
Well, a lot of men. It's a lot of men, but it's more women that are single, independent, alpha females, they call them, you know, real strong leaders, things like that. Is that so? Do you see that?
I believe so. And, you know, in addition to that, I believe that because males have, I would say, I guess, instinctively learn how to manipulate, I would say, their mother at a very young age.
Okay. Let's say
it again. What
so they can say it again. Say it for the people in the back.
For the people in the back, because that's so true. Say it again.
Yeah, because
everybody puts their little hearts up there when you say manipulate. Okay.
Yeah.
So they know how to manipulate mom.
Yeah, because we learn that early. Innocently. We learn how to manipulate mom to avoid trouble. Right. To avoid the whippings, also to get favor from her, right? Okay. And that cultivates us. Okay. To be able, or not even say be able, but it cultivates us in a way that where we do it subconsciously to women that we meet too. Okay. And I think
so that we don't lie.
I think sometimes, but I don't believe it's always a conscious lie. I believe that when the male doesn't sit time,
it's not intentional.
Well, I think that when the male doesn't take time to really, really find himself and to find out, like, what do I really want? Right. And when he meets someone, he really tries to see, can I really like love her or you know, take her fully as she is? And I'm gonna tell you honestly, a lot of times we'll know that it's not totally what we want, but because of whatever good that we see there or want there, we'll still go there.
Okay.
Knowing
Yolanda try to pressure try to get in. What you want to say, Michelle?
No, I agree. I agree with everything that he said 100%. That is like the sweet way to put it.
Yes.
Honestly. But I respect
we don't
him.
Lie.
I respect I respect him acknowledging the fact that it is a form of manipulation in that. You know, because most guys won't admit that. Oh, I didn't ever manipulate. Yeah, you do. You do. But it's ways of doing it. It's ways that they get in there and manipulate. Wow. You know, as women, we're nurturers by nature.
That's true.
We want to take care of you. We want to be that woman for you.
Yes.
You know, and they sometimes capitalize on that.
does that let you know I'm dating someone else or several people or what? What would a person need to say? Hey, we're not exclusive. I'm enjoying your company. But, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. What should I tell that person so it wouldn't seem like, hey, I got 3 other people and I'm lying to you? You know what I'm saying?
What would you tell that person?
Yeah, would you just say, hey, I'm dating? Meaning that, hey, we're not exclusive. I'm enjoying you right now, but I also have other people that I see.
That's it.
That's the way you say it?
That's it.
Okay. All righty.
I mean, what's understood need not to be explained.
Okay. Well, some people don't like the truth. Is that right?
Some people don't like the truth and they hope for the best. I mean, because some people go into the situation with intentions that, hey, I like you.
Right.
I want to be with you.
Right.
You know, but they also have to respect whatever that person says. And I'm the type of person, I respect honesty any day because it gives me, you know, it makes me put my feelings into check.
Right.
You know,
up front.
I would only let it go so far if I know where I stand.
Right.
And I know where you stand. So I'm going to pull back, you know, and I'm going to decide. That gives me an opportunity to decide, do I still want to date you under these circumstances, knowing that, you know, you don't want to be exclusive. You want to see me, him, and her too.
Absolutely.
So, you know, let me decide.
Okay.
That's always been my thing.
Let me decide.
Option. You know, but some men still lie, even though you tell them up front. You know what? Be honest with me. Be 100% with me.
Right.
You know, I don't understand why they still feel like they have to lie. Oh, I'm not. I'm telling you the truth. It's all about you. It's all about you. And then you get the text or you get the phone call. You see them out somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, why lie?
Exactly.
You will get so much. My grandmother used to say, you will get more honey from a fly. Whatever. I can't remember. What was
yes. more from something with honey than you will
with vinegar.
You'll
get, You know, I mean, just tell the truth. And
just tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Okay.
Let her know where she stands. Let her know what the deal is. Some women are cool with it, something are not. Some are not. It's just gonna be your loss either way. It's gonna be your loss or your gain either way, and you have to accept that. But be honest, because you're gonna lose anyway. I mean, especially if it's me and I find out.
But just be honest, Mr. Gerald. What do you feel about that? Have you?
I agree. I mean, I agree.
Have you said that to women before, or is that something you say, or is that you just don't date them? Well, I'm saying
I agree with it. That most of the time, men aren't going to be honest about if they're seeing other women. They may say, "I'm not."
Well, they still, for instance, they still care about you,
right? But
you don't feel like they care because they said that?
Most ladies gonna ask, are you seeing someone else? You with somebody else? You messing with somebody else? Most women gonna ask that question.
They will.
Yeah, and most guys probably will say no.
No. Because of he
don't want to lose her sexually.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's the truth.
For keeping it 100. Yes.
He don't want to lose her sexually.
That's what it is.
That's it. That's it right there.
Because if he says no, if he says, yeah, I'm seeing somebody.
What's the lady say? It's that right there.
It's that right there.
We're going to shift the perspective.
Well, it was the one thing I was thinking when she was saying that. I was because this is one thing I remember when I was a kid. Specifically, I remember Mom, when I started, seeing girls and all that, my mom saying, well, listen, don't be trying to get serious with nobody. Just have fun because you're too young to be trying to get serious, right? And for some reason, I remember that for a while, and that resonated for a long time, right? And so I guess the reason why I bring it up, because I wonder sometimes how much of, how many moms do that in trying to protect their young boy's heart, right? And how much of that plays off into him as an adult.
Right.
Because I strongly believe that his early cultivation play a big part later on. Because those are the training periods. You know what I'm saying? And so, that's just one thing I thought about, because I know for myself, for a many, I would say for a good, I would say mid-20s, I didn't trust women.
You didn't trust them.
I didn't trust them, and I didn't give them a chance.
You didn't.
No, but the thing was because it played in from my upbringing, though.
Okay.
And so because of the little things that happened, even with my mom, between me and my mom, and then other the females that come after that situation, my mom, it just made me make this conclusion, that if I can't trust my mom, I can't trust nobody.
Wow.
And so that carried off for a long time until I was in a situation where I started reflecting on these past women.
Right.
And I said, you know what? She probably could have been a good woman.
Yeah, look at that.
And I didn't give her a chance.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so those kind of things would make me grow up in those particular areas of trust and so on and so forth.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Too, like in regards to my later dealing with other women. But I just think like with guys specifically, I think a lot of guys don't like to really I guess be vulnerable enough to admit, how they are feeling.
Right.
And trying to get someone to talk, help them navigate through those experiences. Right. And what typically happens, I think, because men don't function, mentally inside of their emotions.
Right. Parents, many parents, or especially fathers, used to always say, "Don't cry. You better not cry.
Right.
If you cry, I'm gonna punch you in the chest. If you cry, I'm punch you in the face.
Right.
Then they punch you in the face, and they still don't want you to cry. They punch you in the chest, they still don't want you to cry.
Right.
Yeah. They used to do. They would do that.
Exactly.
And they still didn't want you to cry. But I'm gonna tell every man. I read the book of Men Cry in the Dark. Mm-hmm. Such a great book. One of the best books I had ever read. T.D. Jakes did that. One of them, and about men. Period. Mm-hmm. And I will tell all men. If you don't cry, many times you will die. Mm-hmm. Because you're holding it in. Depression, stress, heart attack, stroke, all kind of things. Because we keep it in. The main thing we need to do is cry. And we need to also have a partner. I have a buddy of mine, best friend, been almost 30 years, that I can call and say, hey, I'm not having a great day. We need some real guys that are our friends. Indeed. That say, you know what? We're okay.
Indeed.
You see what I'm saying?
Indeed.
You need somebody to say, today is not good for me. Mm-hmm. I'm not feeling great. Because it could be that same day that guy is thinking about jumping off the roof.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Running into a tree.
Right.
All kind of things. Mm-hmm. Because of suicide. Suicide is really high in the African American community.
Exactly.
So I want people to know that. And we should be able to. We've got to be able to say, I'm not having a great day today. Right. And then it not be spread all over the world that you're not having that great day.
Right.
That's the other thing, even with friends, and I tell everybody that.
Right.
Yeah.
And what you said as a young person, because like you say, it's so much the young male child, black male child was made not to allow to really cry or many different things. Because and I think that we definitely have to reach a point of helping the male child know how to navigate through that feeling, through that emotion, so that when he gets older, and she gets older, that they can feel it, but still mentally be in control.
Right.
It's okay to feel what you feel is naturally. However, it's not okay to allow that feeling be the reason why you do certain things. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's one of the things that when I was saying how because black males don't really they don't really experience it and know how to navigate through those feelings, causes them that when the emotion breaks them, it's so tragic, because they don't know how to navigate through it, and because they don't have the experience of doing it.
I think the foundation for all relationships, and this is just my thought, I think the first thing we need to become is friends. Absolutely. I think we need to have that friendship. I think we need to be friends first before getting in the bed, before going other places. We need to be friends. Yeah. And what I mean by that is that I need to be able to depend on you. You depend on me. What we talk about is good, things like that. And then sometimes, many times, I think the bed part, we don't equate. Women take it a little differently than men take it. And we need to discuss that before doing it.
Right.
That's when that's when the fight breaks out. And, you go out there and a brick goes it's through your windshield or something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Or you go out there and your car all written up saying Cheetos or something. You know what I'm saying? Right. And we had it differently.
You're right.
We had it differently. We think of it differently. What do you think, Mr. Gerald?
I definitely agree with you. And it's one other little piece. Because I know when Yolanda has said something in regards to, again, fixing and healing.
Yes.
And I think that one of the mistakes that we make when you're speaking about being friend, one of the mistakes we make is that he always pointing out her issues. She always pointing out his issues, right?
Right.
And the thing I think that would be more productive is if we can always, instead of me telling you what you doing wrong,
right,
I try to figure out my response and what I'm doing wrong,
right,
and how I could have done something better. And because in my imperfection, I can say I'm not perfect all day long.
Right.
However, I want you to treat me like I'm perfect.
Right.
Because if I'm not able to look at myself and say, you know what? I don't think I was necessarily wrong because my intent might not have been ill. However, maybe I was saying it too loud. Or maybe I didn't even have to bring that up. Or maybe I didn't even have to, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I just think that there's always another way to do something and approach it. And to me, if both people do that, take accountability. What could I have done different?
Right.
And then maybe ask, okay, so what is it that you would like me to do?
Right.
Different.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm feeling that. What do you feel about lifetime partners versus marriage and lifetime partners? There's several people that are in lifetime relationships, meaning they have not gone in front of the the court or whomever and get the paper of marriage, but they've been together 20 and 30 years as a lifetime partner.
I myself, I don't always believe that the paper is necessary, although I understand the significance of it, you know, because of how we operate on this physical level with things and, you know, materials and possessions and so on.
Okay, so the law.
Right.
Based on the law.
Right.
Okay.
But definitely that's not going to, you know, solidify the union. And I think some people have the mindset that once we do that, we good. When if it takes that for you to think that you're not good, you know, so I believe that, like when she said that, it's not, people don't have the same value. When Yolanda said people don't have the same value for the sickness and wealth, what you said. Right. I believe that a lot of people are definitely going into these relationships, these unions, these marriages, for the wrong reasons, for selfish gain and reasons, you know, and it's not. And it really is, that's why it's so temporary. This thing, the reason you went in it is really temporary, and you're not really fully satisfied. You're not really fulfilled, and this is what's causing you now to do all this extra stuff outside of that union. Right. But I mean, I think it could be good. When you said one versus the other, I think that, I mean, for each his own, if they need it. However, I definitely don't believe that the paperwork is. I mean, paperwork is maybe not always our friend, you know, especially for black men. And I have to say that just because the system is not necessary for us.
Jump right in.
Wait. I'm trying to figure out, why is the paper not a friend for a black man? Why would the paper not be a friend for a black man? Because, I mean, I've been married before, so it's not like, you know, I have to be married. Lifetime partnership, great, because at the end of the day, it holds the same value at some point, and depending on what state you're in. Anyway, like he said, paper's not going to make the marriage. It's not going to break the marriage. It's just something that solidifies that there is a marriage that took place, and you belong to him, and you can exchange, you can have his name or however. Right. You know, the whole commitment is between that person, because that paper is not going to keep you together. Right. You know, I found that some people that's been in long-term relationships stay together longer than people that has a paper. Partners. It's something about that paper. Yes, that's what I was going to ask. That just, you know, it changes the dynamic or something. As soon as you sign your name, that person change, you change. It's a whole bunch of things that transpire because of a piece of paper. You know, I will be pleasantly happy in a monogamous, faithful partnership if I know that a paper is going to affect what we had, you know, before. Everybody wants to do the right thing because God says. Yes. Holy matrimony. Yes. This is the right way to live. And everybody wants to do that. You know, you should. But if I thought that, because I've been married and I've had the paper, okay? I'm not in a relationship anymore. I'm divorced, okay? Twice. So paper didn't hold me. But if I thought for a minute that I would have a long relationship of understanding, and it would be better than what I had before, and that paper for 1 second messed up or determined which direction my relationship was going to go because I was married and that paper said Mrs. So-and-so, I would opt to not.
may be having a problem with an alpha male. Alpha woman. That's an alpha woman. Somebody strong, a leader, in everything. Not just taking over, but I'm just saying the strength of women. That's an alpha woman.
I believe that a man, a healthy, a psychologically, emotionally healthy, doesn't mean that he doesn't have something.
Right.
What I'm saying, a psychologically, emotionally healthy man, I believe his natural, I would say, divine makeup drives him to naturally want to protect, provide, and maintain for her.
Right. Okay.
His mom, his sisters, his wife, just naturally, right?
Okay.
I believe that kind of man, when he meets a woman, he's going to, again, naturally want to fulfill his role as a provider and maintainer and protector, right?
Right.
So, from myself, my personal perspective, I would say if I met a woman who was doing significantly financially greater,
yes,
I wouldn't enter it, not because of intimidation, but because I wouldn't be able to feel my role. That would make me comfortable and make me balanced as a man. Because I believe there's a natural thing for men that.
So you wouldn't think it's just one when she's making the money. Say she's making 200,000 or 300,000 on 7 figures. You know.
Let's say that we was together and I was taking care of my deal, and then it happened like that. Yeah. She grew and excelled like that.
No, I'm saying you met her like that.
Yeah, I mean,
she's a millionaire already.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I myself, I wouldn't enter it because I believe that. I think that naturally,
I like the truth that you're giving.
Right, naturally, that male is going to have to take a more. He's I guess, for lack of a better way to put it, he's going to have to take up the. I'm going to use the term traditional. He's going to have to kind of take up a more traditional role in the house, in a sense, as a result of her financial, power. So
you're saying he would have to take care of the children and things like that.
Because the more money she makes means the more obligation she has.
Right.
So if she's making a lot of money, then she's also busy.
Right.
So it's a good chance that she may be busier than he.
Right.
Right. And so naturally, because of the money that she makes, she's probably going to carry a bigger bulk of the financial responsibilities too.
Right.
So I think that naturally would kind of tilt things in regards to where my perspective is in regards to where a man's role is in his home. So it's like, how can you truly lead when you're not fulfilling a leadership role? You understand what I'm saying? So I just think that men definitely should choose wisely when stepping out, because you have to know what you can deal with, and you have to know what it's like. I look at it like this here. Like, let's say you it's easy to purchase a foreign car, but the real challenge comes in maintaining it.
Right, that's true.
It's easy to get a house in the gated community, but the real challenge comes into holding up the responsibilities of what's going to be, so that I look at the same thing when people come together.
Right.
Whether it be her coming to him or him coming to her, there's a, because sometimes we seek certain things, but if we're not striving ourselves to be in a position to maintain that, which we seek, then it's going to be some problems. And so you're going to have this male going to have all these, self-esteem. I don't think that's the term I'm looking for, but let's just say you get out, you and your friends, a bunch of couples get out, and let's say most of the men here are carrying the burden of the family. And men naturally, the way they are, they kind of, start wanting to do this, that, there for everybody, right? And if this man who's not holding his weight, he may not be able to do that, right? And so I think it's just going to naturally mess with him and her in some kind of way.
I got you.
You know, I just think that a woman would naturally want a man that's doing better than her. That's
Sounds
my
good.
belief. Yeah.